Timelines, narrative control. This is what all this is about. When you talk about entertainment, the industry, the music industry, the movie industry, radio, music, all of that. Like, it's basically entertainment, bro. But everything has to do with, even your own life, like everything has to do with timelines, emerging timelines, and narrative control. Narrative control is one of the most powerful, if it's not the thing, the topmost way to control and manipulate people's timelines and people's livelihood. They call it brainwashing. Some call it MK Ultra. You know, they do this all through, like I said, the radio, television, any form of communication. This is how the World Wide Web was even invented. You know, www, the intranet. It started off with letters, sending letters, you know, with the penmanship, you know, sending things through the boats and maritime law, you know what I mean, controlling the seas, controlling the oceans. The commerce is converse. Converse is conversate. Any form of, once again, communication, right? So this is how they control the timelines, narrative control, right? Controlling the narrative, right? This is like a book. If you're writing a book, or if you have you control the story. You control the pages. When the pages are turned, you control when stuff is being rendered. You know, and everything is steady being rendered. Nothing is definite. Like, nothing is absolute. Everything is always changed. The pages, you never know what you're finna get after. But if you want to know the future, they say if you want to know the future, you gotta write it. You know, if you want to know the future, you gotta write it. You the one gotta create it. If you want to know the future, you have to create it. So this is what they do. You know, with the government and any form of control. This is what they do. Spiritual lockdown. You know, this is a form of keeping you in a cycle that you no longer elevate. You no longer rise to the next level. You know what I'm saying? So it's a form, like I said, it's a spiritual lockdown where you don't develop, you know, just like the music, like with music. They will get something that's popular and keep the music there for decades, 10, 20 years. You know, music always changes after a certain amount of years. They keep it there for a reason. They keep it there because they don't want nothing else to develop. If everything continuously developed, people would not gather. You know, people would not come see the show because the show is just always ending. It's continuously ending. So if the show always continuously ends, you won't get enough people to come watch the story because it'll be another story. It'll be so many stories. It's just like I said, social media. I said this in another video. It's just like social media. It's so many social medias now. Before it was just one or two. It's a lockdown, right? One or two social media, and they controlled them one or two social media, and everybody had to go through them, right? They give you choices. They'll give you 2, 3 choices. Once they start giving you a multitude of choices, everything is spread out, and you can't control when everything is just over there. You have to form some type of system. So this is how they can control the narrative. They have to have all eyes on one. They got to have all eyes on one system. You know, because if you got many systems, you got many controllers, many rulers. All right. So this, like I said, it's narrative control, bro. It's like controllers, it's like directing or being the one that tell the story, the narrator, right? And they did this throughout time, brother. Like, this is how they control everybody throughout time. Like, they'll tell you what they want you to know. They'll tell you the story before you even get to develop your own story. They'll incorporate you in the story the way they want to incorporate you in the story, right? It's the script. They write the story. They give you the script, and everybody plays a role. Like they said, the world is a stage, man. Like the world is a stage, and we all are just playing a role on it, right? We all are actors in this movie. That's why they call it the American dream. You got to be asleep to live it. You understand what I'm saying? So, like, I watched the movie. It was a movie. Time Machine. It's called The Time Machine. 1960. But it was based on a book from, I think, 1890. And they've been talking about, like, this is kind of like a concept they've been doing over and over and over. This is a concept that the government officials, the entertainment industry, Hollywood. If you know about Hollywood, the Hollywood tree, magic, illusory. Like I said, just thought form concepts. They implement this type of thing in everything we do, and many people fall asleep to these things. Like, many people fall asleep to what's really going on in this world. They get so blindsided about, how much they can get, what they can get, like what they can get out of stuff. It's basically like they put you in a survival mode where you don't even got time to even think about most people don't even care and that's cool, People forget that we on this earth for a certain reason. And then some people don't even want to know. Some people just like, I'm just here to do. That ain't me at all, bro. I went to the depths. Like I said, I watched the movie The Time Machine. It's in every movie, but I'm giving y'all this movie, The Time Machine. They tell you in the movie, bro, like, same thing I'm talking about, like, his homeboys, I don't want to give it away, but I just give a few. His homeboy in the movie, like, a couple on, he told me, I got this time machine, blase. And they ain't believing him. They thinking he crazy. They think he's just out his mind, right? Like, man, this man crazy. And they left the house, and he tried, and then one of his homeboys stayed. Not to give away too much, but he hopped in the time machine and went through time, right? Went through different periods. 10 years later, I think it was 10 years later then, 50 years later then, I think 100 years later. And he seen the change. He went and seen his homeboys, the ones that was in the house, and then he kind of like went off to see a whole nother evolution of different people. And, a lot of that stuff, he was surprised how people didn't care. People didn't care enough about time. They didn't care enough about what was really going on in life. They didn't care to see. They didn't care enough about knowledge. They didn't care enough about wisdom. And it came to, like, it was kind of like the movie Idiocracy. Go watch that movie too. It's like the movie Idiocracy. Like, it's just, you get to a point in life where people just forget so much. People forget the wisdom of things. It's like once everything reset, people go back to, like, not caring or not even realizing what's going on. Like a fish in a bowl. Like a fish in the bowl. Imagine a fish just figuring it out, and then all of a sudden you go back to just being a fish in the bowl. You know what I'm saying? So just go watch that movie. Y'all understand what I'm saying, but it's kind of to the point, like I said, narrative control. Just keeping the people in the bowl, not knowing that it's a world outside the bowl and they're looking right at it. You know what I'm saying? Like, and fear is the thing that keep people stuck. You know what I'm saying? Like, survival mode, bro. It's real interesting, man. Y'all go watch, you'll understand what I'm saying. Controlling the narrative, controlling the story, because every day we are developing our own story. Every day, bro. Like, every day we develop our own story. Every day you do something, that's a part of your story. And it don't necessarily have to be a part of the story, and it's all how you perceive things, too. It's all how you look at stuff. It's all based upon how you look at stuff. You know what I mean? Everybody got a way of seeing something different and what they accept based upon the things they went through and how they figure it out, how they really, tell about other people's energy, life, and everything, right? Yeah, it's just mainly about development. You know what I'm saying? And that's when they teach you history. History is his story. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is his story. My story is a mystery. You know what I'm saying? My story is a mystery. And it's my story. When you listen to his story, you listening to somebody else's development. You listen to somebody else's explanation of why certain things are what chapters they don't been through, right? They teach you what they want you to know, and they deem that as truth. Because a lot of people don't even accept their own truth. Most people will accept somebody else's truth before they accept their own truth. You know what I'm saying? That's where the MK Ultra and all that stuff comes from. People will accept somebody else's truth before they accept their own truth. People don't log their own timeline. People don't log their own life. You know what I'm saying? They let it flow by. But most people don't. Now, if you look at cultures, most cultures don't log their own life in today's world. Back then, I know it was a elder that kept all this stuff, all this information, right? Now, like I say, our elders is somebody else, is another culture. It's the Cabbage Patch Kids. It's different. It's the different people, colonizers controlling our culture. So we don't observe ourselves as much as they observe us. We don't look at each culture. Like, we don't look at, if you go to, like I said, Africa, Black American, Latino, Chinese, Russian, Indian, whatever. We don't observe other, like Black American, we don't observe other cultures like that. We don't try to pinpoint every culture. Each culture, we keep it to ourselves, right? But then if you got somebody that don't know where they come from, they're going to study you to the T and try to break down every single thing that you ever doing that you don't even break down to yourself. Like, it's just like somebody watching you all day long. They're going to see every aspect of you. You don't really watch yourself like that. So then they explain the story, they develop the story, and then they include themselves, right? Just like the moon landing, bro. Like, they lied about the moon landing. But you know why they did that? They did it because they wanted to be the first to say they did that. And that's important. Because if you the first to say you ever did something like land on the fucking moon, I mean, most people, man, I know we ain't never landed on the moon. The moon is a hologram. So, but them saying that they had a story, that's be something that could be taught in a system, right? And that gives them the hierarchy. That gives them the power. You know, like I said, that's penmanship. When you have penmanship, you change the course of things. You can erase something and rewrite it in history. You've changed the course. You've changed the timeline or something. But I'm gonna drop another video, man. I'm gonna drop part 2. Y'all stay tuned. Y'all know what time. And like I say, at Bungie727, Bungie Clips at Gmail. All social media. Y'all just make sure y'all hit me up. I'm gonna drop a part 2, man. You know what time. Let's go. Get.